Tiebreaker game of the summer split, a battle for third place, battle for fourth place? Fourth place. And of course, looking at a preview of the quarterfinals here as we move into the playoffs. Fnatic versus H2K, winner takes all here. They are still going to face each other in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
And going to be a pretty intense best of one, like the good old days, Crepo.
The good old days, before Riot ruined it with like best of twos and best of threes. No.
No.
Back when we played 4 games and Super Weeks, like, what was it, like 4 games in like 2 days? Those were the good old days.
When we thought Super Weeks were like intense, and now it's like 10 games a day. Ooh.
Back in the day when we went to tournaments instead, to wake up at 8 a.m. to play video games. Can you imagine?
No. You stay up till 8 a.m. to play video games. That's not how it works.
But yeah, right now, H2K playing Fnatic. Obviously, it's a 4th seed versus 5th seed. Whoever plays it, like will have a slight advantage in playoffs in terms of side selection. But it's also important for the second part of playoffs for the refeed, the reseed, depending. So the higher seed is really important if you want to dodge G2. So like, unless one of these teams wants to face G2 rather than Splice, they could take a potential dive here.
Absolutely. Of course, during the post-game lobby, the coaches flipped a coin to see who would start on what side. H2K won the toss and decided that they're going to be on the blue side. We'll jump right into that lineup. Of course, Oda Wamne in the top lane, Jankos in the jungle, Ryu in the mid lane, Freeze AD carry, Vander support, and their coach Prawley. Now on the opposite side for Fnatic, top lane Kikis, jungle Spirit, their mid laner Fevin, AD carry Reckless, support Yellowstar, and coach Daylor. Believe it or not, the lineups have not changed since we saw that earlier today.
That is Reckless with kind of extreme man bun evolution. It's getting longer every week. It's always fascinating to follow Fabianca and Reckless's hairstyles because they switch it up every week.
Just the steady evolution too. It gets longer, cut it down.
Yeah.
Of course.
Not so much hairstyle.
Limited options here for Forgiven.
Yep, he's back.
He's back.
And honestly, I don't think it's a bad change for H2K, despite having potential like internal turmoil based on some tweets. They obviously kiss and made up, as they said, and everybody's friends again. But I think playing with Forgiven gives you like a certain proactivity to the game. He will always be doing something, right? And like putting some pressure on the map, and then you can play around that accordingly. Whereas H2K with Freeze, while they were trying to play as a team, they were just too dense. Everybody was always together, like it was like a big bowl of friendship. We're all friends, holding hands in the mid game.
Or not dense enough, and he was off in a side wave, just farming.
But that was them trying to play catch up.
Really interesting to see how much the team has improved with a single swap out here. Of course, Freeze struggling with some of those hand problems. Hope to see him recover soon. But in the meantime, H2K looking very good with Forgiven. Happy to be as far up as they are in the playoff seeding here.
And I'm really happy that they decided to put Freeze on the bench because so many players, when they have like wrist issues, they're like, nah.
One more game.
Match.
We can play one more week.
One more match. Playoffs, God forbid they get to Worlds. Like, nah, I played the entire split for this. And then the season later, your arm is ruined. It's so important that you take the rest. So many players have wrist issues. I remember when we joined, we visited the EDG gaming house over in China when we were there in Shanghai. And I asked their coach, Aaron, it's like, yo, Aaron, is there anybody here with wrist issues? And he went like, yeah. Of course there are. And he just like mocked it and laughed it away. So it is super serious issues among pro gamers. So many like people suffer from like tendonitis and the like. So it's very important that they take care of their hands, do their stretches.
Something often overlooked, I think. Have to see. Good that H2K are putting the priority there where it needs to be. Have to see if we have any more wrist issues here. Obviously, an issue that's been plaguing NA as well recently. But right now, everyone on the stage has got good wrists. Good wrists, Crepo. Ready.
Got that wrist game.
Ready for League of Legends.
Do you have good wrists, Sifa? Have yours ever hurt from playing too many video games?
That's true. Now I do like wrist exercises because I'm worried.
What?
You don't do wrist exercises?
I actually don't, and I actually used to have my wrist hurting. Play too much of that support,
You see, you're not practicing what you preach. You're up here like, really got to take care of your wrists. I'm like, hey, do you do wrist exercises? You're like, what?
Nah.
No.
I'm a hypocrite. They actually stopped hurting, surprisingly.
Ah, yes. A clear sign that you're good.
Going to the gym actually fixed my wrists, ironically. I thought like lifting more weight with them would ruin them, but apparently it strengthens the bond. Or maybe just no longer playing 16 hours a day also helps, doing like actual life activities. Seeing the sun once in a while.
Whoa. There is a very nice digital sun in League of Legends that I think you are criminally underrating right now.
Yeah. So we're still waiting here. Both teams seem to be ready, guys. We're getting the cue that Champion Select is imminent. So hopefully we can dive in pretty soon.
Oh, hear the music? It's
That's the
time.
music we wanna hear.
Kog'Maw immediately taken off the table. I think no surprises. We saw how good it was yesterday, and as well as how effective it was against G2. If it wasn't for a few of those excellent flanks and teamfight executions, G2 surely would not have come out on top. Hecarim similarly taken off the board. Don't want to put that one into the hands of Jankos. Looking like a pretty standard pick ban phase thus far.
Nidalee away from Spirit, Hecarim away from Jankos, very important here. Kog'Maw against Reckless. Need to see if H2K are going to go for the Shen first pick. This is a champion that always makes it, or seemingly makes it through picks and bans, and is a really good first rotation on blue side because it has very few losing matchups, and the matchup that it loses is by such a small margin. For whatever he brings globally to the team is so worth for picking up.
We have to keep in mind H2K also opted in for blue side, so they must have something ready for this first pick. Must be some reason that they prioritize it over having the counter pick that you would get on red side. Maybe it is that Shen. Of course, Fnatic taking their time on this final ban. Really wondering what they want to leave open. Karma, of course, still on the table.
Giving a ban to Lucian. Ah, they actually did it. Lucian bans in this meta only happens against Forgiven, and then they're going to go for the Shen hover. Fnatic, I guess, thinking about picking Sivir up here early. It used to always be Sivir Karma on this rotation. Let's see if that comes through.
Taking their time, but that looks like it is going to be it. Quick response coming in for Fnatic. They know exactly what they want here.
This is where you usually answer with either jungle support is something you can do, but since you see the enemy bot lane, you can already pick AD carry too, technically. Leave your jungle counter pick if you want, but this is very often when you see teams kind of pick up a Gragas, especially for Jankos. I think he might prefer that over Elise. They could no longer pick the Hecarim Shen combo, which is super strong together, but I still would like maybe a Gragas pickup and then a support for Van that he can play. Not the best Bard player, so maybe he just ends up playing Braum again.
What do you think is the 80 carry pool that's available right now? Obviously, Lucian, Sivir, Kog'Maw taken off the table. Do you think Tristana is rising as a popular pick? Do you think it's something that they can pick here?
It has been picked up by a few people. It seems to maybe be an answer. Caitlyn is what people used to play, but I guess maybe with the Shen ulti you can afford to go slightly more aggressive with your 80 carry pick.
Oh, and I like this adaptation coming in as H2K locked their second rotation. Taric and Tristana picked up. We saw how clutch those plays can be when Tristana has that extra shield, that extra invulnerability coming in from the Shen and the Taric. So H2K, Forgiven joins the lineup, and they're clearly not hesitant to play around him. A lot of tools to keep this Tristana alive.
Yeah, Tristana Taric has a lot of outplay potential, especially if you go all in at 6 with the invulnerability too, especially since Shen is there. But it is an incredibly rough lane. I don't think it's winnable into Sivir Karma, so H2K will likely need a lane swap early.
Something that they are no stranger to, of course. And really some of their last opportunities to lane swap. Soon the glory days will be gone.
Yeah.
Back to standard lanes.
Or they'll at least be very pricey.
Yes.
Very pricey lane swap.
You're gonna have to spend a couple thousand gold, or give up a couple thousand gold.
Maybe like 400, man. A couple thousand gold.
Couple thousand.
Did you read patch notes?
No. You gotta stay on the patch you're on. I just read the Reddit and they're like, lane swaps are dead. Got it, Reddit, thank you. I've done my research.
Right. Yeah. I read the Reddit for caster opinions. It's like, I have a lot of room to improve.
Nice.
But then I asked Officio and he said, no, it's okay. Your card knowledge is great.
There you go. Trust Officio.
All right, Fnatic.
No, after you, sir.
After me. Signature Olaf coming out that they like to pair with the Sivir, you know, basically the run at you comp, and then the Gnar on the side lane. Range buoys tend to do better into Shen because melee matchups just get punished too hard. So Gnar should actually be a fine matchup in this Shen. Has decent split push. And you see if Fnatic are going to go end up playing 1-3-1 with their final pickup here. I think it'll likely depend on the matchup here. I think it might be cool to see them run a Zilean actually. I would really like Zilean in this composition for Febiven.
Wondering what the final pick is going to be as H2K do round out their composition, but looking back, you know, Kick is picking up that Gnar. That's pretty good for the team. We praise him for his teleports, but additionally his rage control has been on point throughout those mid to late stages of the game. When he first joined up in this roster a few weeks ago, he had some amazing Gnar plays to win them a game.
But look at H2K's composition. Yes, it can 1-3-1 with Vladimir on the side lane, but they just really want to do that whole pain train again. You know, Rek'Sai charging in potentially with a Shen in the back, you know, extending that tunnel range with Taunt Flash, and then Vladimir kind of dogpiling on whoever they find in the front, and that creates space for Tristana to maybe go in, get a reset, and then become invulnerable from the Taric. So it's very important that Fnatic either kite super well or, you know, at least be cognizant of this engaged composition.
They have to be careful. Fnatic really taking their time. You suggest a Zillion. Have to wonder what options are available to them. They have the Ragnarok. They have all this mobility, but they have to be careful about looking for these team fights. Are they going to pivot this strategy?
I just really like Zillion compositions that are forced to run at you because you kind of revive the first target that hits and the bombs are so easy to proc, but they're going for the changed Rise here on Feven. It can also really punish people that are coming straight at you. You know, Rise really strong in certain fights like that. So much damage on Fnatic's roster. You know, they only have really one true tank, and that is Gnar, still a conditional tank here. So
yeah, I feel like true tank is Olaf kind of, but doesn't offer any peel or CC. It's a very interesting composition from Fnatic, and
it's kind of with our powers combined, we form one tank. Yeah. You know, the Olaf Gnar. Need the fusion dance.
We have enough peel for one carry, maybe.
And the counterpart of that is obviously that H2K is running, I wouldn't say a low damage composition, but the damage is very centered around both Forgiven and Ryu. And Ryu this split hasn't really shined that much. So it's been relatively lackluster at times.
Yeah, he had some good games yesterday, but the consistency hasn't been there. We're going to have to see if it shows up for him today. And of course, we've seen what late game Rise can do, but late game Rise, late game Tristana, that's a matchup we've yet to really see, and I'm wondering who's going to come out on top. Because there's a lot of pressure on Forgiven in this composition. As you said, not the sole source of damage, but very close to. Vladimir, a terror in that late game, but if it's only Vladimir in those fights, it probably will not be enough.
And then we get to test Vander and Forgiven synergy as well. You know, how well have they practiced this Tristana Tower combination, because there's a lot of outplay potential there.
You can hear the teams if you're in the studio.
Yeah, I always wonder if like a mic is picking up their voices that I'm hearing, or if they really talk that loud.
Oh, they're really that loud. They are.
It's the noise canceling headsets, man. You start shouting.
Yeah.
I have one at home too, so whenever I'm playing and like streaming, I'm just shouting real loud, and then I take them off and like, my neighbors must think I'm crazy.
It's the same thing when you have like, so we're fixing some microphone issues here on the stage, guys. We'll get into the game shortly. But it's like the same thing when you have your headphones on. Look at Vander. Give us a wave, buddy. You can't hear us.
That's Jankos.
My God. I know. But that's
look at
Vander.
Vander.
Thank you, production.
Wow. From the future, Sifa with the production predict. Yeah.
They're like, Vander has issues. It's like, oh yeah, Vander is not on screen. The casual wave.
The casual waves.
Quick test. We can't divulge any secret information while his headphones are off. We gotta keep it. Can't talk about League of Legends. Gotta wait.
I was about to tell him that Bard's the great champion, but now he has a noise cancelling headset on. He'll never learn the truth.
He'll never know.
This is where we're out of fill topics, because we don't.
Because we've already burned them all, and Fnatic too.
Lane swap games, man. They mess with your fill topics.
Take them all. Greedy lane swap games.
I mean, this is where we can start complimenting the aesthetics of this studio. Do you like the brick decor?
I do. I was skeptical at first, but it's really grown on me.
Yeah.
It's the weird rectangle thing in the middle that just does it for me.
Rectangle thing? Oh, great. How about the desk, Sifa? Do you like standing casting?
It's only awkward because of the height differences present across our broadcast.
What height difference? I mean, this may be just... I feel personally insulted. There's actually a box here. We can't pull it out, but I refuse to stand on the box. That's why you will always see me dip. Because it's actually pretty interesting. In international events, Dash's height gets larger and smaller depending on who's next to him. And I wonder how that goes, that you can suddenly grow 3 or 4 inches in height.
I feel like you're letting out some behind-the-scenes secrets.
I'm just saying, some seemingly short people get much taller at international events all of a sudden, except, I wear my shortness with pride.
Yeah. Honest. You're an honest man.
I don't believe in deceiving the camera. We're getting the all area. I'm like, where's this guy checking my booty out, man? Come on.
Look, we're only tailored to be viewed from the front.
I mean, I feel a little objectified here, We're here for our voice and our analytical knowledge. A little creepy camera.
No. You know why you're here.
Yeah.
You're the sex appeal on this broadcast, my friend.
I'll take it.
We'll get the PIP, the picture-in-picture Crepo cam.
Just like constant Crepo cam?
Yeah. It's the equivalent of the cat cam for streamers.
We have to explain something. This game does not matter for the reseeding, whether 4th or 5th, both will be below Giants and ahead of Unicorns of Love. That actually makes sense. Prompter just told me.
Yep.
So this game actually does not matter.
So keep in mind, they are playing for who gets 1st, 3rd, and 5th side selection.
Yeah. Not for the reseed.
Not for the reseed. At the end of the day,
That makes sense because there's always a 3rd seed higher than them and a 6th seed below them. So I was wrong. I lied to you guys. But it does matter for the side selection in their inevitable playoff match. Just as a repeat, Fnatic will be playing H2K in playoffs in the quarterfinals. 2 weeks from now, I believe, because next week is promotion tournament and then the quarterfinals start off.
Yep.
So these teams are actually looking to hide as much information as they can from each other. And we'll see how they value side selection.
Curious what it's going to see as we watch the meta kind of evolve as we move towards playoffs. 6-15.
Yeah. It's actually going to be a pretty big shift. That's why these teams can probably give it their all out here.
Yeah. You can pick New Rise because you don't even know if New Rise is going to be a champion on 6-15. It's a new world.
It's a whole new world where bot lanes only 2v2 each other.
And there's blood and action all the time. The promised land, Crepo.
The promised land. I'm actually afraid that 6-15 is going to be a siege patch where teams are basically going to play for 2v2 but join with their jungle. But we'll talk about that next time because right now we're loading into game. You get a hashtag.
Hashtag H2K win.
I get a hashtag FNC win if you think they're winning, guys. Vote on Twitter at LOE Sports. We're about to head into game. The guys are shouting. Oduam is telling his team to focus, guys. So let's focus. He's so loud.
We should just... He's so loud, it's throwing me off. I want to talk, but I want to listen.
I want to listen to you. So you talk, I'll listen to Oduam
okay, all right,
and then I'll predict the calls. So I'm like, guys, I think they're going Baron here. There's another pause here.
Okay.
We've just been told. Sorry, guys. Here in Europe,
to be fair,
we have...
Fabulous.
Ooh, I like it. We have commitment issues. Basically, we're afraid to let it go. This is the last game.
We're not going to have any more regular season banter. You guys, you're our last audience. This is like a special occasion.
I think we need some candles.
Yeah.
Candlelit tiebreaker.
Candlelit tiebreaker.
In true European fashion.
This is like the quintessential European moment. Of course, H2K, they're getting the freedom to talk.
Okay.
Fnatic in a similar state. Everyone's figuring out what they want to do.
Just for visibility, guys, there was a small problem with Vander's headset, likely caused by the fact that Oduam was so loud. No, the last part was just speculation, but the headset is fixed.
And this is it. Yeah, there we go. We're moving into game. H2K versus Fnatic, 4th or 5th. We're going to have to see who walks away with what. So we push forward into our first game. Will we have standard lanes? A preview of 6-15 to come. Will it be the final lane swap in the regular season?
You'll find out in the next episode of Europeans Tiebreaker.
It's only 2 episodes, Crepo. This is episode 2.
Short season. This is like the Firefly of League of Legends, canceled after one season.
Rest in peace.
All right, Vander Forgiven ready for the cheese. But it's a preemptive swap.
I gotta be honest, crowd. You're still not louder than Oduam here.
This match is no longer about H2K versus Fnatic. It is only about Oduam versus the crowd. All right, cool bit of a bot lane analysis, though. You could go for the camp if you're tagged Tristana, but that means you're late, and then you risk getting poked out when you walk back to lane. But you also don't want to stop the enemy camp too early, because then you get poked out, so they just hide in the brush. And they see it's a lane swap right now. The whole reason Vander's moving is because he sees enemy bot lane on top side, which means he can now safely invade and stop at least one jungle camp here.
Jankos gets the smite down in the end, but it's not going to be the 2v2 matchup, so Forgiven and Vander will get a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
Spirit going to take a little bit of poke there in the exchange. Now it's Sivir versus Tristana in the push matchup once again. Sivir, a little better at clearing the waves. Tristana, a little better at killing those towers.
Yeah, if Trist can get an AoE shot on the towers that explodes on the melee creeps, that's the ideal scenario, but you don't want to get the creeps too close, because then your creeps will aggro, and that is really bad for lane swaps. All right, now we can check the mid lane matchup. Very dependent on like if Ryze gets level 2 first. If Ryze gets raised to level 2 by a Vladimir, he actually suffers a bit in terms of push, but it seems that Feven has the control.
Okay, Ryu getting a little bit aggressive here. Saw Feven take control in the laning phase against Perks on that Vladimir, but of course no stranger to the threat of the Vladimir level 2 on this Ryze. Confident to just trade cooldowns there as we switch into lane swap cam mode.
Lane swap cam. Yeah, very mirrored here. For the last time, we'll go over the details. There's actually minor execution area on the side of H2K. They're letting the creeps kind of filter through. Basically, you always want to tank the creeps. Fnatic is doing a great job right there. You know, you want to stay stationary, tank the creeps, and hit the tower, and only use abilities on the creeps, because then your creeps and your auto attacks will take down the tower quicker. That is the basic fundamental step 1 of the lane swap. Explaining it one more time before it just disappears.
Before it goes away. We need some somber music playing in the
Play a
background.
tiny violin. Right now, bounce coming
The only
out.
instrument you can play.
Yep.
So decent tempo advantage in the favor of Fnatic at this point. H2K lagging behind by a decent margin.
Yeah, that's obviously because Silver Karma much more AoE abilities on these creeps. Tarek only has the one E that comes out, and Tristana to proc her AoE needs to hit the minions, you know. So there's a lot of loss of auto attacks here. This results in Kiki's getting access to farm much quicker than Odoamne, and the second Odoamne gets access to this farm, for example, he'll soon be pushed off by Reckless and Yellow-Star, putting him at a pretty large CS deficit. Look at the other side of the map here. Look at how much space there still is between Kikis and Forgiven and Vander, for example. Odoamne could have done the tricky thing, or the risky thing of instantly pushing out his wave, but if that gets punished, H2K is put behind on the map, so he'll just have to take the loss and play a little bit from behind.
Yeah, now he's TPing to the top side, though. Kikis is getting pretty aggressive, trying to punish him out, but you can see H2K now setting up for the second stage of the lane swap, not looking to jump right into those standard lanes.
And it's a bit of a TP that's selfish for Odoamne to catch up because he gets access to farm, but it does mean that Kikis can TP to the bottom and make a creep invulnerable. Look, he's going to wait a little bit and then teleport, and obviously H2K's teleport didn't have that invulnerability frame on the creeps. So again, minor lead here for Fnatic. For the just 2 CS or 3 CS of experience that Kikis took out. Look at it, you know, that cannon creep is just staying alive for longer, doing more damage, so even the second phase of the lane swap is going to be quicker for Fnatic, and it may result in them picking up the Cloud Drake that's obviously on the bottom side of the map quicker without contestation from H2K.
And of course the Ocean Drake there.
Ocean.
So happy to have that little bit of extra regen, especially you can see Reckless, who's been forced to just spam every ability he has to clear out these waves. So Dragon given over to Fnatic for their excellence in execution, potentially.
They could also just look to just funnel as much farm in their carries and not care about Dragon. Some teams have made that choice.
Going to be interesting to see which they prioritize. Farm in the carries versus the Ocean buff, of course. A little bit less tangible than the Mountain Drake or the Infernal, but still very valuable here in the early game.
Yeah, they're just going to base and look to push off Odoamne off the farm. See if they can keep him behind. This is where I think Kikis can actually push, because it's the Tristana coming out, and that's an adaptation. I'm not sure if they're realizing here the whole risk of pushing and letting the lane result in a freeze. It's really hard to do that because Tristana always auto pushes herself. So I think this is a scenario where, because Shen is showing in the top lane, Kikis could technically push his wave out to greed for more CS, but they're so afraid that H2K then bases Odoamne and has him catch that wave in the bottom lane. That's why you no longer see, you know, a lot of these top laners push out. You always want to freeze.
Forgiven, though, on the bottom side, pushing out as best as he can. Is going to have to push it in all the way, as you mentioned. Don't want to give anyone the opportunity to freeze. Spirit moves into the mid lane, does have that level 6. Ragnarok unlocked and available. You can see he's been doing a very good job of clearing out the jungle thus far. Picking up the early boots, too, for that extra cooldown reduction. Will make the Ghost available that much more frequently.
Yeah, if everyone has to be happy with this, getting free farm on the rise, not getting any cheesy support or top laner roams, you know, that can tilt the mid laner from here. Off the face of the earth. So I think RG was fantastic at MSI. They just forwent the whole main top meta. They said, no, we're just gonna mess with you guys, roam mid all the time. Fnatic, because there's no teleport, they can actually create a large farm advantage if they help Kikis defend here, but they're a little bit late. But nobody's diving Kikis. They're actually instead going for dive mid.
Maybe looking to move forward. Ryu buying as much time as he can, waiting, using the ultimate. Does still have the pool available, just running. Fancy footwork coming out. It does get snared, but just immediately pulls out. Gets the healing from the back half of the ultimate. Great defend.
Yeah, but nobody's farming the top lane here. So yes, Fnatic kind of botched the dive a little bit, but Kikis is getting access to a wave that Odoamne was losing to the turret. So now there's a 12 CS advantage on Kikis, and it only matters once these guys meet up. You know, if Gnar can get the 1v1 lead on the Shen, he can start influencing the map.
Of course, as he approaches that black cleaver, too, it's going to be that much harder for Shen to stay away. Minion are so oppressive in the laning phase. Yankos and the rest of H2K taking the Scuttle Crab as a consolation prize, keeping the vision up and around Dragon, but small advantages going over to the favor of Fnatic.
And this is a phase of lane swaps where Fnatic often loses the map because there's no synergy between jungle and support.
Yankos flash in. A little bit of a fumble there. Caught up under tower.
That's a mistake from Yankos. He's clearly not used to playing with Tarek, or the angle was slightly off from Vander. But Vander and Yankos have much better support jungler synergy, whereas Spirit always opts for farming. Like, he will leave his support dying, and that's obviously why Yellowstar has died a lot face checking.
Oh, speaking of, Yellowstar potentially in trouble. Flash over the wall. Satchel charge going to pop.
That wasn't Spirit's fault. That was just Yellowstar taking incredibly greedy pathing for
How
absolutely
dare
no
you,
reason.
Spirit?
But very often in the mid game, Spirit will be solo clearing camps. Yellowstar will be like, guys, I need to contest this vision. Nobody coming with me, walking anyways, face check and have to flash. Whereas Vander and Jankos, yeah, they may lose some CS, but they move as a unit much more often. Obviously, there's a fine, delicate balance in between these two concepts, but I think very often Fnatic plays too much on the farm for Spirit and leave Yellowstar to his own demise.
Have to see how that strategy costs against them, because of course there's a pretty decent CS advantage present in the hands of Spirit right now. 49 to 38, the difference in the jungle. Fnatic starting to apply some pressure on the bottom side, maybe looking to get a little bit more deep vision here.
Yeah, and then when this bot lane suffers, Spirit's like, yo, no, I'll help you push out for the price of a couple minions.
Maintaining that lead, but giving Yanko some time to farm up on his own, maybe clear out some of the vision that Fnatic has secured on the top side. You can see them with some early defensive wards, as well as a cheeky ward in the enemy H2K jungle. Now we gotta watch this glorious 1v1.
Alright, good trade from Otawamne. Really wins out big there. Kikis, despite having CS advantage. Not getting much. Vander looking for a stop here on Reckless.
Oh! Ooh. Got the 10 gold.
Dwarf?
Yeah, looking for the dive here. Kick is starting to build up that rage. If they want to go, they need to go pretty soon here. Flash forward.
Oh,
Missed the
Otawamne.
taunt. H2K, that's the second fumble this game.
Ew. That would have been an insta-kill on Kikis. I don't think he would have gotten the rage in time.
Yellowstar now moving up to back him up, but H2K, I mean, they're making proactive moves, and it seems like they've got the right idea on diving these potentially weaker early lanes, but the execution just fumbled.
And I wonder what's going to happen if Forgiven roams mid, because a fed AD carry in lane swaps that gets access to a lot of farm can just group mid and kind of surprise his Rise when he's desperately trying to wave clear. Alright, Otawamne tells me he has ulti. You can hear him say it, so looking for a play perhaps.
Ryu maybe trying to bait in Febiven here. Rise, though, not going to commit to that one. Staying at max range.
No flash. See, they're looking for tunnel, Shen ulti, and then probably a taunt following up. So they're looking for the dive play in mid right here. That's what they're telegraphing, but Febiven is respecting. Look how he's leaning to the left side, because that's where he knows he has vision. He has backup from his jungler.
Spirit moving in, hoping to clear out that vision. They're going to have eyes on the Olaf. Are they still going to look to pull the trigger? Looks like the answer is no, but they're moving to the bottom side of the map. Maybe hoping to threaten Kikis, but H2K, they feel like they're one step behind.
Yeah, but they're 4-man mid here. They should just brute force this dive, but they're so afraid of the collapse that's coming. Hesitation.
Spirit on the flanks. The bottom lane from Fnatic moving in as well. H2K getting punished for being a little bit indecisive here.
And Ryu basis. They find the pink ward here, so that means Fnatic gets free access here as a group to this Baron, and that's where they're strong. If they can really get the maximum value out of that Sivir ulti, speed everybody up. Karma 2, then they can kite away from this hard engage, because there's no Ghost Hecarim here, for example. It's still limited speed engage here. No movement speed steroids on this Rek'Sai, so he needs to surprise, perhaps come with a flank.
Perhaps bring a Shen with him. Odo, you can still hear him. He's got ult. We know, buddy. We know.
That is actually something that's wrong for me with H2K's communication. It is very frantic. Maybe I don't know how well it's picking up on stream, but basically they have the Season 3 or Season 4 era of communication style, where to get a message across, you say it loud and often. Whereas if you now listen to a lot of pro teams, they say it once and quietly, and then they slightly raise their voice on the important calls. Back in Season 2, successful team fighting basically was one or two guys yelling at the targets. Right now they go like, Olaf, 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 Olaf. But instead of just saying, Olaf. It was quite frustrating. And
Turns out I communicate like a Season 3 or 4
Yeah, when we play, it's so hard to shy away from that too, because you're so excited and you feel like you really want to get your message across. But if you get some TSM voice comms, for example, it's really fascinating to listen to, because they basically say go, back, frontline. They have really short terms that everybody calmly listens to. Whereas if you get a voice clip of H2K, it's very frantic. It's all over the place. Everybody's shouting. And it's so easy for them to get sucked into fights and never leave them. That's one of their main mistakes this season.
Well, moving to take down this dragon. Pretty calm, collected play, even with the frantic shot calling. They are just going to move out of this one.
Here, Reckless ulti.
On the hunt, coming in, Kikis on the backside. Maybe looking to get the play. Boomerang coming in.
Oh, bad
Trying to
angle.
find the stun, not going to get it. Kikis, knockback. Great buster shot coming in Forgiven. He does not want to take any risks with the fight there.
Yeah, and honestly, Fnatic coming too late to that play and a really bad teleport location too. So they force the contest, but they're getting there by the time Dragon is down. So that's essentially a waste of teleport on Kikis and Silver ulti. So there was quite some hesitation there. Maybe they were hindered by Kikis looking to get his Narbar full, but still that play was slightly too late. So that means a map reset. Jankos catching up right now. Odoamne just, resetting that wave, pushing it in. You see if H2K can use this window where Kikis have no teleport, and they have 2 globals at their advantage, with the Shen, ultimate, and teleport.
Huge potential opportunity for them to capitalize on. Have to respect the TP coming in from Febiven. We haven't seen as much TP rise since the changes, but Febiven
needs help here. Like, Yellowstar's in the bot holding Reckless's hand, but that's leaving the mid lane kind of 4v1, 4v2. This may just be a dive here straight up.
Look for it. Jankos waiting over the wall. Spirit has the overextended Shen ult on the way in. Immediate flash out, but he's still delivering it. Febiven now taunted up. He's going to go down for sure.
Lane assignment mistake by Fnatic. You can't leave your mid exposed 4v1 when the one remaining member that isn't even here is a Shen on the side of H2K. Like, Fnatic's running a 1v1 composition. Ryze should be on the side lane, and Sivir, Karma, Olaf should be the center. They should be holding this as a 3-man unit, because otherwise H2K can simply do this. It's even spelled out for them. They saw Sivir and Karma on the bottom lane, which means whatever fight they're fighting is 5v3. Guess what? Gnar in the top lane, whatever fight they're fighting is now 5v2. Even if Fnatic doesn't die, they get access to a free mid lane tower, and that's honestly a bad map predict by Fnatic, a team that was praised for their shot calling so often. A major fumble here, and a good punish by H2K.
I think very good overall. We look at the gold, and it's just about dead even. A small advantage for H2K, but now they have the Dragon, they have the Rift Herald. They're getting these small advantages left and right. They're giving up farm, but they're gaining that passive map control gained by taking down those towers.
Yeah, and now Fnatic realize what they need to do, which is play 3-man from the mid lane, and then they can also back up Spirit when he goes in for Vision, for example, right? It all ties in together. Like, if you essentially play into your composition's strengths, you can control the core of the map and fan out from there, as opposed to being stuck on a side lane. That's why we saw so many teleport mid laners reign supreme for so long, and that's why control mages are barely being played right now, because both control mages and AD carries want to be in the mid lane in the mid game, so it's very hard to assign your lanes unless you have like an AD carry that clears side lanes really well with some built-in mobility.
Well, luckily they do have that, but they also have 2 members carrying TP. They have no reason really to fight over that farm. Fnatic now figuring out their lane assignments, as you said, adapting, learning on the fly here after H2K are quick to punish.
And H2K is keeping Tristana in the side lane. That's what we've seen more today as well. Tristana seems to be one of those carries that can clean up side of the farm, whereas Vladimir can play 1-3-1 himself too, but he obviously never carries teleport because it's fundamental for him to have Ghost as a secondary summoner. That's why a lot of teams leave him mid for so long. Just have Tristana push the side lanes alone, as long as she has necessary vision, and then group and force the fight. So H2K is kind of playing a style where they fix their side lanes and then they go into a 4-1 style, rather than a Fnatic who wants to put pressure with both side lanes and then pincer or react with double TP.
Do have decent vision across the map, a few flanking wards coming in for those potential TPs in the future as well, but H2K are now moving into the top side, making a few more proactive moves, and there's really no flanking opportunities for Fnatic here yet.
But Ryu's basing, I don't like this base timing. This feels like an item spike base. Look, because the Vladimir goes to base to finish his item, now everybody on the map has the base. Which meant they could have technically done that like a fraction of a second sooner, That's... I'm not saying it's the wrong play, but if this persists to be an issue, it's worth looking into. But that requires you to look at gold values, how much gold was he carrying, like much more analysis goes into it. But it's something you see with players that are kind of self-oriented. They'll say, okay, 200 more gold and then I base, as opposed to looking, what does my team need from me right now? And I think actually that's perhaps one of Froggen's largest faults too, because he always played for 500 more gold, one more item, but he doesn't incorporate his base timings in his play. Many mid laners do that though.
Base timing's maybe not the biggest concern for Fnatic or
Ryu's
H2K. They're looking for the delivery system. Vander mushing forward. He's going to sidestep though. Yellowstar now set to fall. Spiro running for his life. Ragnarok up and available. He's going to have to pop it soon if he wants to make it to safety. In goes Forgiven. Spirit knocked down, knocked out. H2K pushing in now 3-0 over Fnatic after another aggressive push.
Yeah, and that is the pain train with the pink conductor. You know, this is the composition that people have been running so often here. Now Kiki's under pressure here. Vander coming in with the swag.
Forgiven, hop forward, just looking for an extra kill there. Picks it up, 2-0-1 now his scoreline. Febiven just wants to get something back in the mid lane.
If this composition is allowed to group and select a target and they can engage, it is so hard to stop it because they have so many layers of engage. Look at it again. It's going to be the Jankos going in here. Fnatic being cornered here. Spirit looking for the fight, but then having to disengage. And Ryu is going to piggyback the Shen. Everybody's ghosting at them. You know, this composition is basically based around having at least one ghost on either Vladimir or Hecarim. The Shen being put on that ghost target and then landing and going for a taunt follow-up, while everybody just chases with the Taric proxy stun here.
Oh, Yellow Star caught again. That's not what you want. Jankos cuts him down. Now at 2-0-1. And he's talking about this Hecarim. They may not have Hecarim, but they've got so much mobility on the Vladimir.
Yeah.
And even though they're down that Hecarim, Fnatic still are not respecting the engage here.
They have like so much range extension, I think is the best term to use. Like, right? You have like Taunt Flash, you can extend the fight forward. Then you could technically put a Taric proxy on him and stun from that point. It's like the selfie stick of engages. Your arm becomes twice as long.
Yeah. I mean, H2K, they're getting the good angles. 5-0. Good look for them overall. Now, with the 2K gold lead as well, Fnatic really struggling here. H2K, they were a team that was down and out for so many of these past weeks, but they're really showing up here in week 9. Forgiven back on the lineup looks good for the team, and the execution has just been there across the board.
And it's actually, I'm only slowly realizing it myself, but it just highlights a really interesting codependency between Shen and Ghost as a summoner. Like, cause so a lot of these fights that you've seen, it's like Hecarim with a Ghost, high mobility, or maybe Sivir as like a Ghost substitution, you know, but like mobility on one target plus Shen LT seems to be a really good combo, and then Taric plays into that beautifully. So I think this is a combo that we'll see a lot more, even heading into playoffs, because Taric in itself can handle the laning phase.
And it's interesting too with Vladimir as a pick as well. You have so many champions heavily reliant on Ghost to get into these backlines, to look for these fights. Seems to be a trend across the meta right now. Finding a way to deliver Shen into the back of the team just seems to be exactly what your composition would want to do already with these Vladimir-esque picks.
Yeah. Obviously it's up to Fnatic to divide the map and conquer, but they're losing their side lanes right now because they fell behind. So they're actually forced to group themselves, playing into H2K's hand. Their job right now is to peel for Reckless. He needs to carry these fights later on, but he's nowhere near a strong item spike.
Yeah, Vander moving forward. They're going to be able to break this tower, but meanwhile Ryu's on the top side. He's coming in. He may be looking for the flank here.
If I need to force right now before Ryu gets here, or otherwise they're in a really bad spot.
Ryu coming in, looking for the flank. Odo has TP. Ryu looking to deliver him. They're trying to run his way out. He goes in. He gets the flash taunt. That's 2. Febby in trouble. He's ticking down. Hemoblade goes off. Will he drop? Invulnerability is coming in, and Ryu is unstoppable. Kikis running for his little life, trying to make it out with the boomerang, and he's buying time.
And that's a mistake. Febiven should flash preemptively. You never let that Shen taunt flash you. Beautiful taunt flash by Odo, but Fnatic is not respecting the distance that this H2K composition could close in almost a record time. It's looking fancy, but he dead.
Is he going to be able to get anything back? That is the question. It looks like the answer is no. Forgiven sees his opportunity. Vander going to snag that one.
I like it.
Bloodthirsty. Bloodthirsty Vander.
Vander saying free sends its regards. I mean, look at it, you know, this is Ryu going in. Taunt flash, you should never connect with the Rise. Rise should always preemptively flash and kite. And then maybe Fnatic can actually win this fight if they kite and get a good snare on the front line off, but they're just forced to split up. It's like Fnatic is driving a wedge, or H2K is driving a wedge in the Fnatic composition and then picking them apart at the sides.
And you can see Kikis tried to set up for the flank, but just did not have the rage bar ready. And as he gets cut down here, looking back on that fight, it's so hard for Fnatic to respond, because if they see a turnaround opportunity, the Taric ult is already ticking down. You know that invulnerability is coming in. And H2K, you give them an inch, they're going to look to take a mile. They're on the Baron. They're burning it down. Spirit nowhere near it. It's actually going down so fast.
Really? That's a slow Baron.
No, I mean at 21 minutes, that's pretty fast Baron for 21 minutes. I'm not talking 40-minute Baron.
So it took them a while, but we can debate the speed of this Baron, but it's still a great play here. Fnatic was not ready, they couldn't contest, and H2K was healthy, and that's the most important part. When you double tank Barons, you just don't lose as much HP, so you can start them earlier. They'll take you a while, but if you want to watch fast Barons, watch a Kog'Maw comp.
Right. It's 22 minutes. I understand that there are faster Barons. It's fast for the 20-minute mark. There's no Mountain Drakes. There's no Cassios or Kog'Maws. Like, come on. Fast by the standards presented to us.
Still don't agree.
Yeah, I know. I just have to make my case for the viewers, so they're not like, you know, Sifa just needs to shut up and just
like,
accept that Crepo was right all
Doesn't
the time.
Sifa understand he's a play-by-play?
I ain't supposed to use the big words, Crepo.
Just about talk about these fights. All right, fight probably ensuing here because now Fnatic is, because of the Baron buff too, they're forced to kind of clump up, defend their towers, and they're literally sitting ducks right now. H2K looking to dive. Again, and then look, they play 4-1. You know, H2K doesn't want to play 1-3-1. They can play on another side lane, but they just have such a good dive comp because they can always carry the Shen over. Odoamne just needs to be careful that his ultimate doesn't get cancelled.
And you can see Kikis.
Yeah, it's the only play they can make. They need to pray that there's no vision, and they need to kill the Shen, because otherwise they'll lose the dive fight anyways, because Vander can always time his ultimate on Shen pixel perfect, because he's going to get the proxy on whatever target is next to Shen with a stun proxy, so Fnatic is doomed. So they need to take out the 1 in the equation of the 1-4, which is the Shen, but Odoamne has good vision around him, so Fnatic are put into a bind here.
Fevin, 7-forward under Ryu, looking to put him in a bind. Not going to work out. Spirit dash forward, trying to clear out the waves. Ryze has got the good wave clear, and Ryu is dropping low. Morel and Omicron ticks in. But it's too little, too late as they burn down another tower. Gold lead just continues to grow in favor of H2K.
Yeah, they're taking it slow, not rushing into things.
I mean, the good news for Fnatic is the inhibitor is not broken yet, so there is opportunity to recoup. But the gold lead 24 minutes in, 6K, it's just massive.
Yeah, that's like the equivalent of, guys, it's okay, in solo queue, we got late game. Just that turtle.
Ah, I know that situation so well. Hold on to hope.
Yeah, it's okay, they will throw. Just wait for a mistake.
Just someone, if we don't flame, eventually someone on their team will flame and it'll all fall apart.
That's a strategy they're running against Forgiven. I think H2K is going to close that clean. It'll probably take until the next Baron where Fnatic is basically forced to contest, or they will lose the game because they're being bled dry. Fnatic looking for like a Sivir speed up, but they don't actually have the most catch either. They only really have that Ryze snare to connect with his Zerg comp, and usually in their comp, if they get ahead, damage is enough, but if you're behind, you need CC to kind of kill a target that's kind of left alone by the team.
Yeah, really
H2K have both of the CC and then the Shen ultimate themselves.
using that mobility option to bring it down. Odo potentially in trouble. You talked about collapsing on the Shen.
Nope, walk away. So H2K is just going to rotate to the top side. Odoamne is yelling at his team to keep going.
We can dive, he says. We can dive.
Giving you the live commentary here. Here we observe the pro player in the wild. He's currently communicating with his team that they in fact can dive.
His hands stay in exactly the same position.
But his mouth keeps moving.
Yeah. Hands are a fury of momentum.
Alright, H2K is actually being aggressive in the bottom lane. This is the right play by Fnatic. By all means, they need to see if they can 2v1 the Shen and hold on the top side. But Ryu's diving.
Opportunity comes in. Pool used to stall. Now the invulnerability comes in. Kikis, no Mega Gnar. Jankos now on a rampage. And Inhibitor Tower setting to fall. And Odoamne makes it out on the bottom side.
It's still the right play. We can't fault Fnatic for trying this at this point in the game. Bigger mistakes were already made. Sadly, H2K had the right reaction. Odoamne survives, and they immediately pull the trigger in the top side, taking somebody out, synergizing perfectly with that invulnerability from Vander.
And now Odo. He's going to take his sweet time.
See, that's a slow dragon.
We can agree on that, Crepo.
Actually, Sifa, for solo Shen at the 26-minute mark, is actually considerably fast dragon.
Pretty relative. I mean, he's got, you know, Ocean Drake. He's healing up. I mean, he doesn't have any damage items.
Look at him, moving that sword around.
Look at the mechanics. No, Forgiven?
Just watch.
It's a 1v1. You respect this.
Forgiven is like, watch it. No, he wants to pull. He doesn't even want to jump over the wall. Yeah.
He's like debating. How can I min-max farm here? Do I really have to jump over the wall?
And this is the reactionary part. So as the Shen gets engaged on in the bottom, right now they spot the Ryze and they immediately engage here. And look at the Ryu, so confident, you know, with Protobelt Vladimir, with Taric, really, again, playing into this Taric comp. Protobelt and Vladimir is so good if you can get more range, extension on that proxy stun from Taric.
And this is one of the things I really love about Taric. Not only can he flash forward aggressively to engage, but anytime any member of your team has flash, they can become an aggressive engage option for your squad and your lineup. And that's just so much utility. And when you already have a lead, I mean, it's just insult to injury. Every flash cooldown is a potential engage on the side of H2K.
Such a snowball champ though, Taric, because if you're behind, your stun does essentially nothing, and your invulnerability drops after the target's already dead usually. But H2K, they play towards the win conditions. They've truly understood their comp.
Not looking good for them. Fnatic, maybe their last opportunity to defend here. Top inhibitor down, losing 2. Surely a death sentence, especially with Baron right around the corner.
I mean, Fnatic has got nothing in this game. No dragons, no good engagements. There's a flanking from
forward,
Kikis.
trying to catch Ryu. He's going to pull in the TP into the backside. Kikis maybe looking to turn the play. He has Meganar. Into the wall they go. Target vulnerability comes in, though. This is H2K's opportunity to turn, and they're backing away. They're not sure that they want to commit. Vander locked up. Is he going to get knocked down? The boulder hits, the stun does not, and Febiven is going to grab a kill. Spirit, Ragnarok runs in, but the Spirit's refuge is going to save the team in the end. Backing off as the mini-gnar comes out from Kikis, but he's not done. Or is he, as he backs off? Aggressive play coming in from Fnatic.
Yeah, an incredibly ironic Spirit's refuge there. Turning around that fight, it almost looked good there. Fnatic with a good TP flank, that's what they were looking for. Get the Gnar in behind, isolate the target before it can get the invulnerability. Ryu honestly was playing too far up there. H2K did an okay job kiting, but now Fnatic need to survive and do that again somehow. But they just lost their teleport flash on Kikis.
It's going to be rough. They found a decent flank. They weren't able to get too much. Really just buying themselves time at this stage. 18 seconds and counting down until that Baron respawns. We talked about this before. This is where Fnatic has to fight.
They have to fight or just somehow get 4 items on Sivir, because the 4-item Sivir can always carry fights.
They're about an item and a half away from that point, though.
Keep stalling. We got a late game.
Wave clear, boys.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, there's still only 2 damage dealers on the side of H2K late game.
Oh, Yankos. A little aggressive here. Vander on the way in, though. Spirit.
That's the wrong way. That was like a drunk tag.
Predict. It's the wrong predict. He's in too deep into the mind games. Or he was just wrong. Rio taking a little bit of damage. Hemoplay comes down. H2K maybe looking for the commit here.
That's a teleport from...
Cooldown straight in. Spirit caught out. Ragnarok is available. They're going to leap forward. Forgiven with the aggressive moves. Chilling Smite to slow him up. And Otawamne and Yankos trading blows with the front line of Fnatic.
It's good for Fnatic, actually. They forced the teleport out of Shen. Nobody truly got caught. And they held off. But right now, H2K is going to commit to Baron because they know somebody has to deal with that wave in top lane. This is a Baron that H2K doesn't necessarily want to take. But I think they just want to start it to force Fnatic to face check. The second Ryze reveals, they're probably going to start the Baron to force the TP.
And see Ryze is there now. TP available for Febiven, but no real flank ward opportunities.
They're going in here.
Goes leaping forward. Kick is caught out. Satchel charge ticking down on top of him. Not a whole ton of damage there, but low health bars on the side of Fnatic.
Yeah, some patience here on Otawamne there. Doesn't want to commit with the shield. Really wants that in-fight value on the shield. And this is the Home Guard's Rise coming up here. Spirit actually based, so this is miscommunication.
Not at all where Fnatic wanted to be. They are going to secure the Baron in the end. The Soul Flare comes out from Yellowstar, but it's too little too late, and they're just going to give that one up.
There's nothing wrong with giving up Baron, but then don't send your Rise TP, right? Because now you just missed a major flank opportunity. What if Fnatic spent that time putting deep lane wards where Rise can potentially TP for a flank? Very peculiar.
Yeah, a little bit of a fumble coming in from Fnatic. Inconsistent shot calling for the team. You know, they made that decent hold just moments ago, and now losing the Baron.
Ooh, and Vander actually going for a pretty consistent melee support build here. The double shield into Ruby-side Stone. Getting a reduction on those activables. Forgiven in the game. Hurricane Trist here with the QSS to get out of some binds. So he can really start controlling these team fights.
Yeah, a little bit of sustain. Doesn't have to be too scared here because there's very limited CC on Fnatic already.
Yeah, H2K can also pivot their style from just doing pure backlane dive to just focusing frontline. Like with Vladimir and Tristana, they have enough threat on the backline from their tanks that they can actually start focusing the tanks down themselves.
See Forgiven start to crush through that tower. Mountain Drake makes it easy. Tristana even easier.
She is a demolisher after all. Kikis, 80% rage, so HK looking to pop that rage bar and then back off.
And their eyes on it. Vladimir on the top side, maybe looking to push in for the inhibitor in the meantime.
Like Fnatic want to fight here.
Yeah, they have to play around this rage bar. Has not triggered for Kikis quite yet. He is at the 100 mark. If they need to go, they want to go now. H2K have to see it coming. Are they going to get the opportunity? Knock back into the team, but the Taric invulnerability comes in, and it's too little too late. H2K in control, Forgiven on the front line.
I really like that ultimate from Vander. It was timed beautifully here. Kikis looked like he had the hoop and scoop ready, but frame perfect invulnerability from Vander. Basically predicted what Kikis was going to do. H2K take down tower and inhib. They're not waiting. They're not playing too patient. I like the aggression that they're putting forth.
Fnatic last opportunity for a fight, but they're not going to have Meganar for a few more seconds. Decent aggression coming in. No Taric ult. Febiven doing some good damage, but Spirit's Refuge continues to happen. blocking out what little response they have. The inhibitor falls. H2K now running. They have no reason to fight, but Spirit goes in. Exhaust goes down, and Olaf is taking so much damage. Oda Wamne into the front lines. Ryu ripping through the team. Forgiven is untouched. Gets the reset, leaps forward. Kikis needs to look to turn this. He's not going to get the opportunity. Reckless getting cut down. Forgiven biting at their heels, ready to take him if they even turn for a moment.
Yeah, the taunt flasher or the taunt from Odawamne followed with a 2-man stun from Vander by proxy, and the last tower falls.
The Nexus now looking to fall. H2K looking to close this one out 9-2. A clean and confident game. They move into 4th place to close out the regular season. And a great showing as they face Fnatic next in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, and you saw Forgiven kind of jump in his seat there. No lifting on this hug, you know. Vander's like, okay, that's it, buddy. That's a good hug. Forgiven making it awkward on purpose. But it means a lot to that team for like their internal stability, you know, because there was some talks about the tweets that went out, you know, but if this team can operate as a unit and actually get along again, it means so much in playoffs, more than just a single seed would mean.
And nothing brings a team together like winning.
Yeah. Winning and ice cream.
Key to success there. Of course, Fnatic have to be a little bit heartbroken.
You know, when I stopped winning, started eating more ice cream, you know, trying to balance the
scales. At least you stayed happy there, Grumbo. That's what really matters. Of course, these guys are going to get the opportunity to face each other again, as we mentioned. Next time, however, it will be a best of 5. There'll be some good opportunities for Fnatic to adapt, to see what else these teams can bring to the table. It'll be a new patch, a new battleground.
A new dawn, a new day. Hopefully no more Shen comps if you're Fnatic. I'm really liking this codependency between Shen and Ghost as a summoner and just generally movement steroids. It has been so efficient the last few days here in the European LCS.
I mean, it's a good look. And it's been so great to see teams use it so confidently. The Shen engages consistently, and it feels like most teams really have not figured out a way to play around it. And while we won't see 6-14 for much longer, it seems like the best strategy we've seen in the past week.
Yeah, quite some strategies. We saw Karma come out with Tom Kinch too. I wonder how that's going to evolve into the 6.15 meta. Definitely will be interesting. Yeah, one of my gripes there, what I'm worried about is that teams are just going to play like the Nami Kates coming back, playing for lane dominance through poke, then have the jungle group up and basically make it a siege for first tower into a clear snowball, keeping control over bot side, you know, dragon, siege. That's the one worry I have for 6.15 meta.
Yeah, I'm curious to see as well exactly maybe if it just stalls out, if both teams are picking aggressive lanes, if they're both trying to siege and that neutralizes itself, or we can have a couple of games before the meta is figured out where teams are just stalling and the games go late. Because I
love that. You know?
Yeah, you ready for that? You ready for the inevitable...
the best of 5 endurance in the playoff?
Ugh. I mean, best of 5 is already rough, right? Like, already have to stay focused. If you're looking at 60-minute games...
Why are you the Doom scenario? It's not a lot of lane swap, man. It's going to be over 25 minutes. It's going to be pure scrim environment, especially early on when these teams are like used to standard laning all the time, going for their outplays. Next game will be better. You know, there's 4 more games in the best of 5,
yeah,
etc.
Get ready. Flashy, non-stop aggression. You heard it here. Crepo. You can quote that.
That's what we're looking for, hopefully. And yeah, that was it from us.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. With our tiebreakers completed, let's head over to the analyst desk to break down that bracket.
Did he just say thank you guys to himself?
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Me and you and me and you.
And the crowd, I guess.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Producer.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a lot of people.
Right. H2K wins the tiebreaker. H2K are in 4th. H2K with Forgiven are so strong that they go 5-0 in a 4-0 week.
Undefeated with Forgiven in this split. I think H2K look much, much better. And now Fnatic have to play them in the quarterfinal because you lost to Rocket yesterday.
Oh.
The number 10 team in the ULCS. And now you get to play this H2K team.
That's true.
Have fun.
Actually, I had not thought about that. That's
Have fun.
Yeah.
To be fair, the Fishers yelled at us about 1,000 times.
Because you guys threw headsets on, you didn't even
Yeah.
listen.
I heard the whole thing.
To be honest,
I'm
even if I had
disappointed
listened,
that the Fisher.
Yes.
Yeah.
You lost to Rocket because you subbed in Whirlip and took out Kikis when you didn't have to make a change.
Needed to do a science experiment.
Not blaming it only on Whirlip,
Wait.
but I mean on team.
Once Splice picks Sion support and Kale and all
They were
these
locked
things,
in
they're
second place.
experimenting and it's
Nothing to
fine.
play.
They were
But
locked
if
in second
Fnatic
place.
is putting in their
Look,
stuff,
I actually agree with Shox here. I do think if there was a time to test it, that would have been the game to do so.
Why not
And
lock
the
third
result,
place?
The result speaks for itself, right?
Yeah.
You know what they
The
could have done?
result speaks for itself.
You know what they could have done?
Played
They could-
Kickers and got third.
Played Kickers and then played World League today versus G2 in
After
both
you
games.
guarantee third.
Because you just guarantee third,
Yeah.
like Splice did.
Yeah, that's also
I mean,
true.
come on, there's not even a discussion,
I
guys.
agree.
This
That's
is very,
we've
very
all
simple.
just said we agree.
Yeah, we agree.
She just made another point,
No,
saying it was
I
okay
didn't.
when
We're
Splice
aligned.
said it.
We agree. Let's take a look at the playoff bracket.
Let's take
do
a
that.
look.
Our skills of
This Trevor, this is our playoff bracket.
There's the bracket right there. Yeah.
Okay, we've seen it already, but now it is absolutely set in stone. Obviously, H2K and Fnatic will be facing each other, as well as Giants and Unicorns of Love in 2 weeks in the quarterfinals right here in Berlin.
Sick music.
There's only two
Yeah.
possibilities here. If Giants win their series, then H2K or Fnatic will play G2. If Unicorns win their series, then H2K or Fnatic will play Splice. That's it. Because both third and sixth is above and below both of them. That's it. Deficio is really happy because he's predicted this rightly about an hour ago. Well done.
I'm glad you paid attention.
Yeah.
And now we know what's going to happen in playoffs.
Tell me.
Splice will win the
quarterfinals.
whole damn thing, and they will run around with the
Thing is,
Danish flag
it's
in
actually very
Krakow.
important. It's actually very important that Splice make it to finals because they've got no championship points,
Yep.
whereas some of the other teams in the bracket do. If Splice don't make it to finals and don't have some of these other teams dropping early, they've actually got a very, very tough task of making it to the World Championships, despite being arguably one of, if not the best team in Europe
If
right now.
Fnatic make it to semifinals, they go to Worlds
Well,
on points.
that's
50
what
and
I-
50.
That's what I
Yep.
was going to say, though, is without running the maths, if Fnatic, however, lose to H2K,
They're-
Fnatic then
goes to
don't
the
get enough
gauntlet.
points.
That's what
If-
Splice needs.
If Splice win, G2 go on points, Fnatic have to now run a gauntlet that H2K are against.
That gauntlet
there's-
is gonna be
that's-
fantastic,
That's a lot of
by the way.
moving parts.
I'm just terrified. I really, really want Splice to do well in the playoffs and then go to Worlds
Yeah.
because of
I
how
think
well they've performed.
all of us do,
Yes.
to be honest.
100%.
We want to see how they represent
Yeah.
Europe on the international
I mean, the good thing is, again, top 4 is guaranteed for Splice. They're going to get a decent amount of points, so they won't be like the lowest seed in a gauntlet. If they have to win 2 BO5s, well, they have to show obviously they're the best team then. And I think Splice,
Yeah.
the way they're playing right now, and if they're playing, let's just say like Fnatic, Unicorns, I Love Giants, these kind of teams in the gauntlet, we should expect Splice to do really well. But we got to remember, it's a completely new patch. The meta is going to shift. It's going to change.
Yep.
We can sit here right now and praise certain teams, and then in 3 weeks, they can disappoint us big time.
in 3 weeks, somebody could pull a Vitality.
100%.
And first pick is there
Easy.
every game and not play it properly, exactly like they did in Spring
Easy.
Splits. And that's what crashed out. I mean, look, it's a fact. It happened. And the players that came out themselves and said, we misread the patch.
Yep.
We misunderstood how to play it, and that's what cost them.
Okay.
And teams cannot afford to do that.
Yeah, I thought that was amazing. Quick shot. Anyway, 6.15 is not what we'll be playing for the promotion tournament. It's only 4 days away, so it will still be 6.14. And that EULCS promotion tournament will be kicking off on Thursday at 5 p.m. Central European Summertime, with 10th place Rocket facing off against Millennium from the Challenger Series final, of course. And then OG versus Misfits is the only thing that we know for sure now, as well as that Schalke will be against the winner of match number 1. So when you get to day 2, you are safer. You have double elimination, but Rocket or Millennium, if they lose, they're out.
Yeah, I don't know how safe that round 2 is going to feel for
It still
Origin.
feels pretty bad if you have to play another round of
Yeah.
BO5s.
Yeah.
Well, but yeah, but safer.
I'm just
Safer.
excited. I'm just very excited that we're going to see how well Misfits can perform. Spring Split last year, Origin come in from Challenger, smash Summer. G2 come in from Summer last year, smash Spring. If Misfits join in, the expectation for them next year is going to be massive because Europe...
Splice came in.
Yes, exactly. Europe has had Challenger teams that have joined the LCS that have then gone on to prosper and do very well.
I'm
at least
ready
for a limited time.
I'm ready for another Challenger team that everybody's like, they're going to do great! And then they get on stage and get 3-0'd by an LCS team. I don't think it's going to happen, but if that happens, I'm just going to be like,
You
oh,
predicted
come
them to
on.
make it through.
No, I predicted them to
Going
make it through.
back, man.
But no. But what I mean is, don't be surprised.
No, I get your point.
Like,
I
I
100%
think
agree.
they're going to win, but that has happened in the past.
It was kind of
Yep.
maybe that all happened, and those Challenger teams, and because of a changing of the guards, quietly it is happening. Of course, some people
Yep.
chose to go to, you know, where the
Different
grass
regions.
is greener. And as said, there's only more than one road to Worlds. North America continues tonight in just over an hour with TSM versus Energy and CLG facing off against Apex. Trevor.
me. Reginald got 20,000 retweets.
I did.
And he got 20,000 retweets on a tweet that said, give me 20K and we lock in Timo.
Yeah.
Bjergsen
gonna
actually
happen.
said, please don't
Don't
do
let
it.
me play it.
He was trying to get people to not support him. He has to be a man of his word.
Oh,
he
I think he
cannot
will
chicken
be.
out.
Oh, they're 100% going to play it. Like, they're already locked. TSM is fine.
Then-
Team every game. Every game.
done. It's not exactly like.
I actually
don't
want
wanna
to see it
take
get
this the wrong
banned
way.
now. I just want to see it get banned.
Oh, that would be actually. It's,
No.
Oh, that would be such a
I
bummer.
don't want to get into these waters, but you know, if they're playing versus a team that is still trying to get somewhere.
Sure, but like
The
again,
way-
TSM can pick whatever they want.
The way
Yeah.
TSM
That's
have
true.
been playing this split, I don't
Yeah.
think it was Envy, right? I know
Yeah.
they played Envy last week.
Energy.
Energy.
No.
Energy.
It is
I
Energy.
don't think by looking at how GBM has performed, I think even Bjergsen would still give him a run for his
You know, I
money
think
in
the
mid
same
lane,
thing.
like-
I was going to say that as well.
GBM,
Yep.
Definitely.
I loved you in spring. You were on my fancy team.
I didn't like him
Disappointed
in
summer.
April Fools. I had problems with GBM at
When he got
April.
dumpstered by GBM's
Yeah.
camera
No,
again
right.
and again and
His
Correct,
again.
comment
correct.
was my
Yeah.
mouth. It was
Yeah.
Jat my ass.
Oh, was it not?
Hey guys,
I
we
said
dropped the
that,
ass bomb, so I think we're gonna go. No,
Does
no.
that mean someone farted?
Well, it would be you if that was the case.
Right, we're definitely gonna go. And by the way, every time someone farts in the office, it's this guy.
Yeah, she's pointing at Trevor for you guys who
I was
can't see
pointing at
it.
him. I was pointing at him. Anyway, it's time
it's
to go. Sorry, guys, it's been a little silly. It's been a long day. We've had a lot of travel and stuff, but it's been very, very exciting here in the regular season. And we'll see you for the promotion tournament Thursday. And the playoffs are also coming August 13th, but of course Thursday first with the promotion tournament. And tonight, NA in 1 hour and 20 minutes as well. So we'll see you then. Bye.
Adios. We're done!
Oh my god. Oh my god. Why did the manager just take his shirt off? Wait, who? Oh my god.
We can't lose to this.
I'm really tilted.
Just a little bit too early on the draw. Strashy goes in. Being fired. He's going. Strashy steals the Baron. We're not done with them just yet.
I'm ready. Yes.
Chippy. In goes Hillesang. Move owns himself in. And Splice just gets shredded. Hillesang, don't go near that bush. Don't do it. Silent smash into Kavi. And they just turn it onto him. Instant exhaust. But Mickey's still getting the job done. Fetching first blood. That is the most exciting first blood I have ever seen. And Senkox has actually got to get out of town. Veritas trying for the outplay, but he chooses the wrong LeBlanc.
He's got forward. Look at Fox. Fox is down. Police still has HP to work with. Chasing down Steve. It's a double kill for Nuketech. Fox has already killed Shook. And Vitality are running. Look at that rune. Realm warping in.
And now Smitty's knocked into the team exactly where he wanted. Penta counter-strike, and Knight just takes it to him. And Giants Gaming complete the 2-0.
Flash forward. That was a great pillar. Vander sets it up for Forgiven. That's his second of the game. The seismic shove after the flash.
Reckless is still alive. Trick trying to get down the damage. Expect flashes it down. Goes the 80 carry. They're cutting through. They're looking for more. Featherman sets the ball. Sven is a madman. It's G2. One final 2-0 to close the season.